This beautiful woman with legs below her navel, sitting in one's own luxury car with high heels. Next second, I covered her mouth and nose with both hands, knocked him unconscious. Wait for the beauty to wake up. Discovering oneself tied to a chair, standing in front of him is a man wearing a mask. The long legs of a beautiful woman are really tempting. I can't help but worry about his innocence. But the masked man just crouched in front of her, continuously reciting incomprehensible spells. The beautiful woman shook her head desperately. It seems like the spirit has been greatly impacted. Finally, he completely fainted. Starting from this day, at midnight every day, beautiful women will arrive at the masked man's house on time, proactively undressing and undressing. An hour later, she put on her clothes and left the female lead Xiaomei, who happened to be the neighbor of the masked man. This day, she worked overtime until midnight, preparing to take the elevator home. A dark big foot got stuck on the door. The elevator door automatically opens. A woman with a model figure, but covered in mud, walked in. What is this situation? Xiaomei sat in the corner afraid to speak up. The elevator stops on the 7th floor. The woman walked out first. Xiaomei also lives on this floor, can only keep up. As soon as I turned the corner, I saw a woman knocking on the door, knocking on the neighbor's door. The more Xiaomei looks, the weirder she becomes, whispering past him, "When you get home, take out your phone and prepare to call the police." At this moment, the knocking outside stopped. She looked out through the crack in the door. The corridor is empty, everyone's gone. There's no need to call the police anymore. Xiaomei washed and slept. Who knows when I finish working the next day and go home. I saw that woman again. This time, I changed from knocking on the door to smashing it. Scared, Xiaomei sat in the corner and dared not raise her head. Who knows, in the blink of an eye, the woman disappeared out of thin air again. Xiaomei quickly ran back home, just about to take a sip of water to calm down the shock. A figure unexpectedly crawled through his window, climbed straight to the neighbor's house. Then the neighbor remembered the sound of smashing things, accompanied by neighbors screaming in fear. Xiaomei was so scared that she didn't dare to close her eyes all night. The next day, I saw my neighbor buy a super large safe. A man bought a large safe at home, but it's not for putting money away, but covered in eerie rooms. His neighbor Zimai's house stuffed a letter. There are several large bills sandwiched in the envelope. There's also a note asking for help. Please go to Zimai's house before midnight every night. Lock the safe. Open it after 1 o'clock. Xiaomei doesn't want to agree to this strange request, but I looked at the money in my hand. Finally succumbed to superpowers. Before midnight, he pushed open the neighbor's door. The neighbor's house is in a mess, like being robbed before. Seeing the huge safe placed in the living room, she quickly stepped forward, locked it up, and ran out without looking back, waiting for the midnight bell to strike. There's another noise coming from the neighbor's house. This time it's a scalp-numbing noise, just like nails scratching on an iron plate. Xiaomei struggled through an hour in fear. The neighbors also quieted down. She helped open the safe as agreed. Dare not look too much. Quickly ran back home. The next day, but Xiaomei saw a report. Famous beauty model missing for half a month. Once murdered by someone. Take a look at a photo of a beautiful model. Isn't this the woman who knocked on the neighbor's door? If the other party has already died, so what she saw was a ghost. Scared that even Xiaomei class dared not join, I returned home early. As a result, the door was once again stuffed with an envelope. At the thought of it being a supernatural event, no matter how greedy Xiaomei is, she dare not take it. Took the money and went to the neighbor's house. I planned to give it back to her, but after knocking on the door for a long time, no one opened it. Just getting ready to leave, but was caught by the wrist. The neighbor begged him pitifully for help. Xiaomei's heart softened for a moment. Agreed again. Before 12 o'clock, she came to her neighbor's house, looking at the safe covered with talismans, a bit curious. What exactly is inside? So this time she opened the cabinet door. Neighbors are hiding inside, full of spells painted on his body. Xiaomei quickly closed the cabinet door, run out. Things are getting weirder and weirder. Xiao Mingxin is absent from work and comes home. Unexpectedly, as soon as I arrived at home, I was electrocuted. Previously, the girl woke up from a coma, discovering oneself tied up by a neighbor. Neighbors said they wouldn't hurt her, but she knew her secret. So the neighbor needs to cast a spell to erase her memory. At this moment, a knock on the door sounded. The police have arrived at the neighbor's 12 o'clock again. Neighbors panicked instantly. Xiaomei took the opportunity to break free from her constraints. By the way, I found a knife to defend myself, but the neighbor ran straight into him. She had a mental breakdown from being harassed by women for a long time. Why don't you just take Xiaomei's hand and end yourself? Xiaomei quickly called the police. The police took away the neighbor's body. After investigation, confirmed Xiaomei is right of self-defense. She was acquitted and released. But the more Xiaomei thinks about it, the more wrong it becomes. So I found my best friend, who possesses ancestral psychic skills. Tell your best friend about the matter. My best friend came with her. Neighbors cast spells, seeing the truth. Turns out the neighbor was a photographer, frequently taking photos of beautiful models. It's been a long time. Unavoidably, one's heart is filled with admiration. But beautiful models have outstanding qualifications. Quickly became a well-known model. Rising status and rising ship. Neighbors know they can't afford to climb high. Why don't you just do it? 2 endless days, kidnapped a beautiful woman, exerted witchcraft on her, causing midnight every day. Beauty will come to her house uncontrollably, let her do whatever she wants for an hour, and beautiful women wake up and forget. The original progress was seamless. Who knew that the beautiful woman was pregnant, and the beautiful woman's boyfriend suffers from infertility? I thought I was broken up with a beautiful woman by Green. Beauty is heartbroken, she doesn't even know what happened. At this point, neighbors stand up and express their willingness to be the spider. I thought I could take advantage of the situation. Who knows that beautiful women don't even look up to her? The angry neighbor accidentally pushed down the beautiful woman. A beautiful woman bumped her head, died on the spot. Neighbors accidentally killed someone, feeling guilty and throwing the beautiful woman into the river. At midnight every day, the soul of the beautiful woman is still persistently searching for her door. Neighbors are also tormented to the point where they cannot survive. Xiaomei hopes that the soul of the female model can rest in peace. Come to the river with your best friend all night long. Found the body of the female model. My best friend uses magic to transcend the soul of a beautiful woman, returning an innocent beauty to peace.